Hello, and welcome back to the Web3 IP Lawyers channel. I'm your host, the Web3 IP Lawyer. Today, we're diving into the topic of how to structure intellectual property of a Web3 startup. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like what you hear. Let's start with an overview of intellectual property and its importance for tech companies. Intellectual property in Web3 startups. Intellectual property, IP, is a key asset for tech companies. It can give companies a competitive edge in the market and also increases the value of company shares. Reliable legal protection of IP is necessary for stable growth and successful fundraising. IP protection for traditional tech companies usually involves registration of trademarks and patents, and a transfer of databases into the company's ownership. But IP protection may differ for Web3 products, like decentralized applications, dApps, which need their own unique approach to IP protection. On-chain and off-chain parts of a Web3 project. Each Web3 project can be divided into two parts, on-chain and off-chain. The on-chain part, which forms the core of the Web3 product, consists of a system of smart contracts that function in a decentralized blockchain network. In contrast, off-chain interfaces, such as websites, mobile applications, and browser extensions, are needed for end users to interact with these smart contracts. IP structuring of the on-chain aspects. To ensure complete decentralization and autonomy of the on-chain part of a Web3 product, the IP for many protocols in Web3 are typically published as open source code. This is after each software engineer involved in developing the product signs an NDA and an IP assignment agreement. These agreements protect the commercial secrets of the Web3 product development and transfer IP rights from the developer to the company. Open source in Web3 projects. Open source code is software code developed by a group of people or a company who have chosen to make it public property. This code is then published in open repositories, where anyone can access the code and use it. However, before publishing, it's crucial to choose the right open source license. Choosing an open source license for a Web3 product. The most common types of open source licenses for the on-chain part of Web3 projects are the MIT license and the GNU General Public License. The GNU license is slightly more restrictive than the MIT license. Under the GNU license, any code that undergoes modification must be republished again under the same license. In comparison, the MIT license does not have this requirement. Structuring IP of the OFF chain part of the Web3 product. In contrast to the on-chain part, the IP on the off-chain part of the Web3 product is kept by the company. This includes IP elements that make up these interfaces, including logos, program code, designs, user databases, and domain names. Each of these elements requires a separate method of protection, which can involve registering rights, signing IP assignment agreements, and transferring or re-registering administration rights. The Dev Lab company's role in IP structuring. The Dev Lab company, set up to employ software engineers for the Web3 product, plays an important role in IP structuring. This company covers operational tasks, accumulates rights to IP objects, chooses the type of open source license for the on-chain part of the product, and launches interfaces to the on-chain part of the Web3 product. Why registering a Dev Lab company is important for fundraising. A Dev Lab company is usually registered in the jurisdiction where the core project team is located. But for Web3 founders, it's recommended to consider whether that jurisdiction is IP/IT friendly and fundable. Favorable jurisdictions might include Delaware in the US, the UK, Singapore, Estonia, and the UAE. This registration will allow Web3 founders to close the early stages of investment smoothly. Getting started with IP structuring for a Web3 project. To wrap up, protecting the IP of a Web3 project involves different steps for the on-chain and off-chain parts. On-chain protection requires registering a company, signing NDAs and IP assignment agreements, and choosing the right open source license. Off-chain protection, on the other hand, involves transferring ownership rights of IP assets and registering patents and trademarks. Although the process is straightforward, finding the right jurisdiction to register the company can be tricky. Local lawyers can help once a jurisdiction has been chosen. Conclusion. That's it for today's episode on how to structure intellectual property of a Web3 startup. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on law and technology. Stay informed, stay curious, and keep exploring the fascinating world of NFTs and IP law with us at the Web3 IP Lawyer channel. Thank you and see you next time.